Well, it's DP Crazy Lady. I'm going to do just a very short, well, sort of short, evening video. It's it's Tuesday. It's the 8th of October, 2024, and it is 7:05 p.m. I got halfway done with my gnome, just at their nose or just a little in the middle of their noses. So I thought, well, I'd get back to this. So I'm working on this corner, the second level of this corner of October skies. So I would end up being, let's see, right about here on this tree. So I'm working toward the house. I would end up being on this bay window next, or you would call it a gable. That doesn't really stick out that much, so I expect it to be like a bay window. And this is a Dreamer design. And I did start this back in February 29th and put it away, and I don't know why I did, other than maybe I got disappointed with sort of how it looked, but it's not too bad now. I've come to appreciate it a little bit more right now. We'll see how the house looks when I get to it. I'm wearing a piece of tape on my finger, and it's not because I cut it. I'll explain it, just because then I'll have something to talk about. But first off, let me move this light over. There we go. Queen's deep diamond painting, Bianca. I watched your video, and yeah, beautiful painting, a lighthouse with the, like a stained glass. It's beautiful. I don't know how you said you don't know how some of us or some other ones, use tweezers. Well, I don't know how some of y'all multiplace. I can't do it. I mean, I've done it, but I'm constantly going back and correcting them because they go wiggity woogity all over. So I single place, and the only time I use the tweezers, because I found out it's a lot easier for me, is when I use my, when I do specialty drills or my ABs. Sometimes they'll go flying, they will, but I use them for that. I use the tweezers only for that, or to dig out a mistake if I make a mistake. So that's me using tweezers right now on these ABs. So, reason why I have tape on my finger. Okay, I've got a broken finger now. Broke on both sides, and there's just a little in the center holding this nail on. And I didn't hit it, didn't do anything. I think I finally figured out why. It just seems like it constantly breaks all on its own. About 3 years ago, it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning, one of my sleepless nights, and I got a craving for cheese and crackers. So, and my daughter was up too at the same time, and I said, well, I'm going to have some cheese and crackers. So I started slicing some cheese, and of course I was using a knife out of the set of knives my daughter had purchased for me. They were that Emerald, the cook, Emerald, I can't think of his last name, I can't say it anyway, but anyhow, they were very, very sharp knives. Very sharp. And I was holding the cheese like this and sliced, and the knife I don't know. Oh, it slipped off the cheese. It went partway through, and somehow I managed to slip it off there, and I sliced my finger open, and couldn't stop the bleeding. It wouldn't stop, and so my daughter went with me. I drove myself to the emergency room, and I had to have stitches in the finger. I think there were 3 or 4 stitches, so many inside, so many outside. And I told him, I said, I can't feel my finger. And she said, well, she said, you may never get the feeling back in a part of your finger because you cut the nerve. And I said, oh, okay. Well, 3 years later, I still can't feel this side of my finger, this whole side. I can feel a tingle, but I can't feel anything on it. And ever since I did that, my fingernail will start to grow and look fine, and then all of a sudden there'll be a break in it. And I don't know if it's because of the damage I did to the nerve, you wouldn't think, but I know that the beds of your nails, if you damage a finger, it's like my mom, when she was younger, her brother hit her finger with an axe by accident. They were cutting wood, and it split her finger. And from that time on, her nail up here never grew right. It would always grow with a split in the middle of her nail. It would always grow with a split. But he had hit it with the axe down here. So I guess if you damage the bed of your nail or finger or whatever, then stuff happens. So, so I've got a Band-Aid on it so that I don't snag it on anything and rip it off and be bleeding all over. But it ticks me off because my nails are starting to grow back again, and I got one that, is going to come off. So I'm going to end up having to cut the rest of them again. I thought about having my nails done, somewhere or something, but you only have them on for a short time too. If mine didn't break, they'd stay along for a lot longer than what having nails put on do. So that's that issue. The other thing is, my daughter had her mammogram about a week or so ago, and they called on the phone today, and they want her to go back in on Thursday to the hospital and have a better view, and an ultrasound because of the right breast. And it's the same as mine. The same exact thing happened, and it's because, and I don't understand it, but my right breast, for some reason, is denser than the left. Go figure. Well, that's the same issue they have with hers. They just want to be able to, they couldn't get a good picture to see inside the breast. So they want to do the, what's that, the ultrasound or whatever it is, so they can at least get a picture of it. Not that they saw anything, they just want to be able to see it. And it's funny because that's the way mine is the same way. Every time I go in, they usually call me right back now and reschedule another one. Or schedule another one. Let me bring it up a little. Oh, I can't get a hold of it. And so, why is it not moving? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So I hope you can see this up here. Yeah. So she's got to go back on Thursday. So just, say a little prayer just in case she's worried. I don't think she is, but you never know. let's see. It has been cold all day. They say our temperature the rest of this week until like maybe Friday or something is going to be in the mid to high 60s. So I've had the heat on all day. It's been cold. I didn't feel like really cooking today. For breakfast, I had a different yogurt. They say it's keto friendly. I don't know. I think it's called Trio, and it's 15 grams of protein, 1 sugar, and three carbs, I think. And it was the vanilla, and it tasted really good. It's small. The other thing we bought, which we shouldn't have, because I like every once in a while to have like some sherbet or something like that. We bought those little, they're tiny cups, real teeny tiny, little, about that tall, and about as big around like that. They're very small. Of what is it called? Geez, you'd think I would know it. Not spumoni. And I can't think of it. It's Italian, and my brain just went out. Anyway, they have one in a lemon type flavor. The other one's tiramisu, and the other one was pistachio. And I bought them at Aldi's because I wanted to have a little taste of something. I had one last night, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And it's like having like about a scoop of ice cream or a little less is what it's like. So had that last night, but today I just didn't really feel like cooking. I made my stuffed peppers yesterday, got them all in the freezer. So for breakfast, like I said, I had that, and then for lunch, oh, my throat is dry. Yeah, sip of coffee, just a minute. Oh, and then for lunch, let me get this color. For lunch, real pretty AB. That's a pretty AB. 742. For lunch, I had a half of a wrap. I made a whole wrap and split it with my daughter. And then I kept thinking, what am I going to have for supper? I really don't feel like cooking. Everything is in the freezer. I didn't take anything out. And so I turned around and I made a salad. I just threw a big salad together, and she had a sandwich, and we just split the salad. So that's what I had for dinner, and I'm full. I don't feel like, eating anything. I'm fine. Tomorrow, though, she wants pork chops. So trying to think of a different way to make the pork chops instead of, I usually always bread them with my pork breading, the pork skin breadcrumbs that I always use. And then I bake them, and then that's it. Well, I'm tired of, making them the same way, so I'm going to look up some kind of recipe or something that I can change it around a little bit. And then probably have some zucchini noodles or something to go with it. And that'll probably be, and then some beets, because I like beets. And that'll be pretty much it for supper tomorrow. So, lunch tomorrow, I'll probably have some kind of sandwich. My daughter bought those skinny bagels, and the real flat, skinny bagels. And she also bought some of those whole wheat sandwich. They're round and they're real thin. They're sandwich. I'm telling you, I never really looked at the name of them, but they're sandwich buns. That what they are, and they're whole wheat. And so we'll have pork chop tomorrow. So, and I got a call from my brother yesterday, and he's tickled. He finally got his back pay, all that money that they owe, that for retirement in the military when he was overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq. And he got it, and apparently he finally purchased a car. He's supposed to pick it up one day this week. He didn't get anything. He said he didn't get as much back amount as he should have gotten. So he said, yeah, it's an older car, but he said if it holds up for a couple years, that's fine with him, because he said starting in January or February, he'll be getting he gets his military pension, which he's already getting, and then starting in January, February, he'll get his Social Security. So he said if he puts a lot of that aside every month, in about a year or so, he ought to be able to get himself even a better vehicle. Right now he got a 2010 Toyota Corolla. I think that's what he said. So I figure, hey, he doesn't do a whole lot of driving. He's like me now, where, if he has to run to the store, or if he has to, if he wants to pop over here or go visit my mom, then that's what he'll do. Otherwise, he pretty much is a homebody too. So if he maintains the car like he's supposed to, which I doubt, but if he maintains it like he should, it could last him a little while, depending on the mileage on it and what kind of maintenance was done on the car before. I got one popping out. Come on. So, what the heck? That one's in there crooked. There we go. So he's happy. And I took the pup out earlier because I wanted him. I've been wanting to try and teach him to heel and listen on a leash better than he does. But when he was younger, I couldn't control him. He was like a helium balloon on a string. It just ding, 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 ding. And now that he's 2 years old, 2.5, he is a little bit calmer. Not a whole lot, but a manageable, manageable moments. So I took him out, and I only wanted to go down to the end of the street and then back up. And when I first took him out, he wasn't listening. He was like panicking because he doesn't like wandering too far away from home unless we're in a car or something like that. I gotta find this other color. Okay. And he freaks out. He always had, even when he was a puppy. Freaks out about different noises that he hears and things like that. So I got him walking on it. I kept saying, heel, heel, heel. And he was listening pretty good. And I got him to, just in that short amount of time, got him to sit when I stopped and stay there until I said heel and started going again. I'm going to have to do it. And we were only out there for about maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Because they say, Well, when I used to train dogs anyway, number one, you're not supposed to have the training too long. They will lose interest, they'll freak out, the whole bit. The second thing is always end on a good note. You know, not something where you're yelling and screaming at them, and then so they just relate it to that. So I ended on when we got to the driveway, I stopped, he sat, I told him he was such a good boy, and then we just ran up to the steps and back into the house. So he was happy. So he'll learn. It's just going to take a while because his nose is constantly glued to the ground. That's the beagle in him. There were so many different breeds to make a rat terrier, and beagle was one of them. So his nose is, you know, plastered. You know, so. And let's see, I'll probably finish just this. I have this. There's one little section down toward the bottom here, like 4 little drills that I missed. But I'll finish this, and I might get back to the gnomes, see how much more I can get done on them. This is coming along pretty good. You know, like I said, I can't wait to get over to the house because I want to see how it looks. And the house has a lot of color blocking. There's a lot of that. So, a lot of 2s and 3s, and, you know, it's the gray, lighter gray, darker gray. So, but, oops. Yeah, so like I said, today was not a pleasant day as far as, you know, being chilly and cold in Ohio. You know, and the leaves are falling like crazy. They are falling. And before I get off here, I want to say, you know, I hope where the hurricane is coming through again at Milton, please. I know nobody's going to hear me because if they're out of this path, they're not watching YouTube and things like that. But oh my gosh, I hope everybody who should get out got out. I mean, there's already, you know, a hell of a damage from Helene. Now we got Milton, and gosh forbid there's going to be another. I mean, it is awful. You know, please, if you hear there's a tornado, if you hear there's a hurricane, you hear there's any kind of bad weather and you can leave and get out, leave and get out. It's not worth it. Nothing you own is worth your life. Nothing. Nothing at all. So, leave. You know. So, well, geez, I've been on here a little while. That's pretty good. I don't know what I will start after this one's done. I haven't decided. Like I said, I'm going to look through the ones that I have not finished, and I'm going to be working on them. Next time I come on, I'll show you my drill jar. It's gotten up there. It's gotten up there really pretty good. Let's see, where am I at? Okay. Yeah. I thought about, you know, every time I've been down to Dollar Tree to buy, you know, one of their wooden little plaques or something like that and use some drills on it, you know, to decorate it or whatever. But then I thought, well, where am I going to, first off, where am I going to put it? Because it's not something that I really need or want. And to me, it would be pretty tedious. You know, you got to put the glue on a little at a time, and if you mess up, you can't take them off. And I seen somebody on Facebook. They made a photocopy, I think, of the design of a design that they liked on an ornament. You know, like on a diamond. Excuse me, I'm gonna get hiccups. Oh shoot! On a diamond painting that they liked of a coaster or something like that, and so they took a photocopy of the shape of it, and however they did it. Then they put it on that another piece of wood, a wood ornament that they found at Dollar Tree, and etched it on there. You know, like drew the lines or however they did it, and then they could follow that design with the drills. So I thought that was a smart idea, you know, which I'm sure others have done it, you know. So that was pretty good, uh, you know, to figure that one out. And that way you've got a design already, and then you just start it and then fill it in. So, well, I'm going to get off here. This is the last of it here, other than the 2 or 3 little drills toward the bottom there I missed. And we'll see how this turns out when I get to the house. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I finished all my blankets. They're all washed. I got one last one to put in the dryer. My daughter's big quilt. Well, one of her other big quilts. She's got some big puffy quilts. And I've got to vacuum. I vacuumed in here. Now I got to vacuum in there tomorrow. We got to move everything so I can vacuum. I cleaned out under my bathroom sink in here, and threw out some stuff that should have been thrown out a long time ago. And that's what I was going to show you guys, and I'll have to show it to you. I was going to take it out of there. I have I don't know if you call it an antique, collectible, whatever it is, hair dryer. Not one you put on your head, and a handheld. It's metal and wood. And it does work. It has an on and an off. That's it. And it's straight heat. And it does work. I don't use it. You know, I had it as an accent piece in my house before. That's what I'd like to do too. I can't do it this year, and if I'm still around, God willing, next year after winter, I will grab one of my other containers out there. Where is that color? And I have little collectibles out there. Accent pieces, and you know, a few other little items and stuff out there that I can maybe show you all if you're interested. I just can't get to them this year. Now we're getting toward the end, and I at least have a space in there now where I can move stuff around. I can walk somewhat in there and get to everything. So it's going good. But okay, I finished all that. It looks pretty good. Let's see if I can. There we go. There's the trees. And up. And I'll be working over here. Probably starting tomorrow, which will be the house. Beginning of the house. Which will be right here. Because I did the bottom part. I'll be working on this section. So, well, I want to thank you all so much for subscribing. I think I'm at 550 now, which is, to me, amazing. Never thought I would get that many. Dropping drills everywhere, y'all. I never thought I would get that many, and I really, really appreciate it a bunch. I love you all. The only, like I said, it's not a political channel or anything like that, but the only thing I will say is, if it's early voting where you're at, vote. Doesn't matter if you're voting Republican, Democrat, Independent. Doesn't matter. Just vote. You know, everybody, you know, they say that, you know, we have this much blah, blah, blah population. And in our and as many as there are that are eligible to vote, we're lucky if maybe 60% of the population votes, maybe 70, maybe even less. I don't know why, you know, but I'm waiting for my ballot because I'm going to fill it out and then take it down to there. And here in the state of Ohio, it figures that our Secretary of State decided to say, we want to remove all the drop boxes. So the governor said you can't do that, but what he did was he limited them to one drop box per county. 88 counties, and I don't know how some people are going to get to some of them because they're way out in no man's land. So it is what it is, and nobody can I tell my one sister that lives down in Tennessee, you can never complain about who gets in if you don't vote. So, you know what, y'all? Vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. That's your own personal preference, and I don't care one way or another what everybody else does. So just vote and be safe. Enjoy your Wednesday coming, middle of the week. So have a good one. Hugs. Love you all. DP Crazy Lady, I am out of here. Good night.